Hi, everyone. My name is Devin, and welcome back to Kept on Ice, a true crime podcast where we talk about cold and unsolved cases. I know it's been quite a while since I've uploaded a podcast episode for you all, 3.5 years to be exact, but I promise you I have a really good reason. As many of you know, I co-host another true crime podcast with my best friend called Criminalish, and that podcast has kept me very, very busy, and I've been super invested in it because I love it. But in the last few months, I've finally gotten a little bit of a break, a little bit of time to deal with some things that I have going on in my life. And I'm so excited to take this time to relaunch this podcast and reinvest in a true passion of mine. And I want to give cases that haven't been heard before or haven't been solved, and victims who are unknown, and families that are still waiting for justice, the opportunity to learn more about their loved ones. And it is definitely time for me to give this podcast the attention it rightfully deserves. So, if you're new here, hello. This is Kept on Ice, a true crime podcast where we talk about cold and unsolved cases. And it is my solo podcast. I have been a listener of true crime for a very long time, and I have a passion for telling people's stories, telling victim stories, and learning more about victims than just the worst thing that happened to them. And while Cam and I definitely make a point to do that on Criminalish, I wanted to take my own platform and use it to specifically focus on cases that are unsolved. It is my opinion that cold cases and unsolved cases are talked about less because they don't have the satisfying ending that many of us hope for in justice. And I am a big fan of Emily D. Baker, and she said this several years ago, but it always stuck with me. And I think it perfectly explains why sometimes people are hesitant to listen to or get invested in cold and unsolved cases, which is, quote, sometimes as humans, I think we have a very low tolerance for discomfort. So when something happens, we want immediate resolution because not knowing what happened leaves us unresolved and uncomfortable, end quote. And while I can definitely understand this sentiment, right? Nobody likes not knowing what happened, especially in cases so serious. But that's also why I think these victims, these people, these cases deserve just as much, if not more, coverage than active and solved cases. As the people that we're going to talk about on this case do not know justice in any form. And it is my goal here on Kept on Ice to use my voice, to spread awareness, to support foundations, to listen to surviving family members, and hopefully one day come back and provide an update in a case that has gone unsolved for so long. So now that we are officially relaunching this podcast, what's our new upload schedule? Now, disclaimer. These 4 episodes are the first 4 episodes I ever put out with Kept on Ice, but they have been updated, upgraded, and are bigger and better than ever. As you may have noticed, we have video now. So if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, you can enjoy a video component to your podcast. And as part of that video, I will be including photos of victims and locations as appropriate with the stories. And interestingly enough, some of the cases that I do cover do have updates. So as of right now, there are 4 other podcast episodes waiting for you. And the first official new episode will be launching on Wednesday, July 8th. And going forward, you can expect brand new episodes of the podcast every week on Wednesdays. And in addition to these weekly full-length episodes, I will also be uploading case summaries that are 2 to 3 minutes long on Saturdays. And these case summaries will be available everywhere you get your short form content. So make sure you're following at Kept on Ice Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and especially on your favorite podcasting app. If you are a returning listener, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the podcast. I know I didn't keep up with it. I did not prepare well for the dream I had for this podcast. But I appreciate you coming back to the podcast, listening to me, and sharing these stories. If you're new to the podcast, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. And please consider following or subscribing to this podcast and joining this community. Thank you again. And I'm really looking forward to relaunching this podcast. Please be sure to follow and subscribe to Kept on Ice, and be sure to turn on your notifications too, so you know when I post every week. And if you can, please leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening to the Kept on Ice podcast. That's all, everyone. Never underestimate the power of your voice, and I will see you all in a brand new episode on Wednesday, July 8th. Bye.